If you're tired of investing so much time and energy on talking to somebody, texting somebody, and then finally going on a date and realizing they're not it, then single mixers are for you. It's just not the vibes to be meeting people online. In person, you can tell their vibes if you guys are gonna match right away, so why waste time? Come out to a single mixer, talk to a bunch of people, see whose energy you're vibing with. Meet friends, like-minded people, business partners, but one thing guaranteed is you're gonna have a good time. Follow and stay tuned because for the first time ever, we're finally letting anyone buy tickets. In the past, you had to be invited to one of our events, and our current clientele always got first pick, and we would always end up selling out before we could actually release any tickets to the public. So trust me, you're not gonna wanna miss out because it's finally gonna be open to all of you guys. Follow and stay tuned.
Today, I was randomly thinking about how I think I saw a creator on here like a while ago talk about how she had went to a singles mixer at her church, I think, and it was mostly women there, very few men, and she was going up and talking to the men, and all the women were looking at her like, girl, what are you doing? And I just found it funny because I've seen a lot of creators talk about, you know, their experience at singles mixers, and a lot of the women will say like, yeah, it wasn't no men there, like it wasn't no men. And I've been at church and heard about singles mixers, and my pastor has been like, men, please come out. This is not a women's event. Like, we need the men to come out. And I just think it's interesting that men won't go out and like try to meet women, but women are always going out trying to meet men. And I'm like, I wonder why that is. I have sometimes thought about going to a singles mixer, but I'm so shy that I would not want to, I don't know. Something about it is just like, I don't know if I want to do that. But I started thinking like, why is it that only women go to singles mixers and it'd be like 10 men in a room of like 50 women? Like, what is going on? Why don't the men want to go out and meet nobody?
Okay, I have to make this really quick because I'm about to get to my destination. But this is the first time, no tea, no shade, in history where I'm like fully getting rejected by a guy. First off, we hung out maybe twice, didn't try to kiss me, didn't try to do anything. He's from a different country, so I figured maybe it's like a cultural thing. I sent him a text, just like random question, you think we'll ever kiss? He was like, meh, we'll see if it's in the moment. Oh, that means you fucking don't. Great. Hung out. We went. Okay. Nevertheless, here's the cherry on top. That is like the final, oh, I'm fucked. I'm getting like the ugly guy treatment. Anyway, my hands are typically really cold, and that's typically my go-to if I want someone to hold my hand. Like, oh my god, yeah, my hands are so cold.
In 1 mile, turn left onto Park Place Drive.
But I was like, my hands are cold, and he just goes, oh, you need iron. I need you to hold them, fucker, stupid bitch.
So I want to explain this because I was role-playing with my client in person the other day on how to feel more comfortable around women so he can have an opportunity to go up and talk to women, because he's going to a singles mixer this Sunday. And I've been to many mixers. I've been to a lot of dating events, and I go because I specifically want to see how men are interacting. And here's the thing, you can go to a mixer and be around a ton of women, and you can still feel very insecure and not go up to a woman. It could even be a speed dating event where they put a woman right in front of you. They plop her down right in front of you, sitting face to face, and you can still feel incredibly uncomfortable. So it's not about where you're at. It's not the environment. It's about how comfortable are you even having a conversation with a woman. So if you relate to that, if you're like, I go to these mixers and there's a ton of men and a ton of women, and I'm just kind of there in the corner, not really talking to anyone, because I don't even want to go up to a woman because she's going to think I'm weird. I don't even know what I would say. I literally have no idea what I would say. I totally hear you. And those are the exact people that I help with here in the Silicon Valley Bay Area. So here's the thing. Next week, starting on Monday, October 20th through the 24th, I'm going to be going live each day, showing you how to feel different around women you're attracted to. This is a free 5-day workshop that's starting on Monday at 12 p.m. If you want the link to register, again, it's completely free. If you want the link, go ahead and click the link in my bio or shoot me a DM and I will get you registered. There's way too many opportunities around the Bay Area to talk to women, but if you're feeling nervous, if you're feeling shy, or if you're feeling like you have literally nothing to say to her and that it's actually creepy to go up to her, then I want to change that perspective for you, and I want to give you some really useful tools so that going up to any woman here in the Bay Area becomes super easy. All right, guys, click the link down below and I will see you on Monday.
Well, you have to think about why he feels that way, right? You're saying, oh, there's absolutely no reason. There's plenty of women. But why does he believe that? That's what we need to tackle. There are plenty of women out here saying, don't come up to me. There are plenty of women out here making fun of men for going to these events and saying that they're garbage, they're trash. I wouldn't have picked any of them anyway. Well, how do you know that? Because they get online and they say that. Instead of just like, I mean, at this point, I feel like it would be better to keep your ideas to yourself, but they don't do that.
Went to a singles mixer, and only women showed up. Attempted going to a singles mixer in downtown Phoenix. The ratio of men to women was way off. We left after maybe 40 minutes, but hey, we tried.
Okay, I'm confused. What happened to strong, independent women don't need no man? What happened to women not wanting to date men anymore? What happened to lonely, single, and desperate men would do anything to get a woman? For some reason, the math is not mathing. Because from what I'm hearing about singles events, it's flooded with women. Women are looking for relationships. Women are looking for relationships despite whatever they're saying online, that they prefer to be alone without men. See, women are not being truthful. They come online and they say they don't need a man. They don't want to be in a relationship. They don't want to settle. But then when you see a singles event, it's primarily all women. Where are the men? Yeah, we know where the men are because they don't want to deal with it anymore. You see, there's a big difference. When women say they don't want something, they actually want it. When a man says he doesn't want something, he means it.
When your friend drags you to a single mixer after spending the last 3 days moving. I was so exhausted, so I left after 30 minutes. Still very single, and the men we're not at dating in Vegas is truly the worst. Lol.
And that's why men aren't going. It don't matter. These modern women have some sort of weird standard that they're trying to say makes sense. And men are saying, you know what? I want to approach you anywhere. Well, we created the singles mixer. I'm not even going to that. Well, we created this dating event. I'm not going. I am not going.
Okay, so I went to a singles mixer in Indianapolis, Indiana, and here are my thoughts. Now, this is going to be like a compliment tostada. So I'm going to start with the good and then, go to the negatives or constructive criticism. So positives, number one, the music was great. Okay, the music was great. The venue was great. It was at Sundry and Vice. I feel like Sundry and Vice is always like a vibe, like it's a mood. Smart the DJ was the DJ, and he got us right from start to finish. Like, the vibes were good. Number two, the drinks were good. I did have a drink and it was good, and my friends got drinks and they liked it. Good drinks. So for engagement, they had wristbands and they had a game of bingo. The wristbands was like 3 different colors for 3 different categories, like either feeling flirty, just here for vibes, and I forgot what the third one was. And the bingo card was just like, just like bingo, like getting to know each other, like questions about that. And also on your name tag, you had to write your first name and one of your red flags. And it's like red flags about yourself. I thought that was funny. I thought that was cute. I couldn't think of just one, but yeah, okay. That was a conversation starter. Okay, now next for the constructive part. I definitely feel like there should be age ranges for each of these events. Basically giving 40 plus year olds their own category. And then the, 25 to 39 having their own category. Next, I don't know how this is publicized. I mean, I don't think, maybe if it was publicized better, the turnout would be any different, but it was exactly how I expected. It was majority women, and like 6-7 guys. Now, would I go again? Probably not, but some suggestions that I would like just put out in the ether is, number one, just filtering it down some more, either like by age. Well, by age will be like one of the best ones, because it was just like a range of people. And number two, maybe collaborating with other groups, maybe like the Run Club or the Hill, or like just any Black professionals. I don't know if this was already a collaboration, but collaborating with events that probably already have singles going there, but just not like, I don't know, making it intentionally a singles mixer. And that can probably help with the turnout. So yeah, and my bad for putting your organizations out there if you're not trying to, participate in that, but that's just like an idea.
Well, I've seen this girl talk about the single mixers. I guess she's in Dallas, and talking about how like there's not a lot of Black men that go there. And I didn't see her video until after a Black man had basically stitched it and was talking about it. Like, he doesn't want to pick up another bill. Like, he didn't want to be a part of the roster, and didn't want to be with a woman that was going out on multiple dates. And while I understood the sentiment, it was just like, I get that, but like, y'all men as a general, like, y'all are also going on multiple dates. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really shouldn't be that hard. Once you meet a person and the vibe is there, that person's going to make time for you. If they're not making time for you, they just don't want to be with you. And I think we're missing those social cues. Now, I'm not a Black man. I can't speak to why Black men don't go to social mixers. I live in Atlanta. I think why men aren't coming to the social mixers in Atlanta is a completely different reason than why they aren't coming to it, to Dallas. But a lot of people kept bringing up, like, if they were the top of the top, they wouldn't be going to a single mixers. And hey, I get it. I can't speak to that. That's true. However, I just feel like the issue with dating has transcended beyond that. And even men thinking about dating a woman and feel like they don't want to incur another bill, it indicates a whole nother issue about the mindset that Black women have and the mindset that Black men have. I also saw a lot of Black men saying, like, you told us to leave you alone. You told us you didn't want a man. You didn't need a man. And I feel like that's a very cheap, easy cop out. And I'm going to tell you why. I just think, and again, this is just my woman's opinion. If you're a man and you disagree, feel free to stitch. I'm always open to the conversation. But like, I don't think of social media as real life. And I don't look at social media as the end all be all for what all men think about, right? We all know anybody could come on here and say anything they want on social media. And in real life, it's a completely different thing. But I think we live in these very extreme times. So when you see somebody make a video and say, leave us alone or whatever, like, you take it as that. But I feel like as a man and how you operate in the real world, it shouldn't be indicative of what social media is saying, right? Like, if I was supposed to live my life based off of how social media was saying, I would never go out. I would never meet anybody. I would never date anybody, because social media is just like an echo chamber, right? So it feeds you what you're interested in. And as a man, I just don't feel like listening to what social media is saying. Like, I also feel like if you're saying like, oh, if you're 6'2", you're at the top of the top, you don't need to go to social single events. And if you're secure in yourself, you shouldn't be listening to women that says, oh, a man shouldn't be approaching you, because as the joke is said on here, if you look cute, a woman's gonna, I guess, take whatever they get from the fine man versus from the man that's not so fine. So anyways, I don't want to make the video too long, but I was just like, I've been to a couple single mixers. I've met men out in real life. And clearly there's still a yearning for Black women to want to be with Black men, because the Black woman, she was matched with a non-white partner and still wanted a white man. So I'm more interested in how we can bridge the gap versus why the gap is so wide. I hope you made it to the end of this video. Thank you.
Let me jump in here really quickly. There's a guy in the comments that said, there's no way that you just said that that's a cop-out. Men can't win. No guy says, dating is a low priority. I'm focused on working overtime, by the way, graduate school, and contributing to my Roth IRA. Y'all think men are lying when men say, I'm not going out there. I'm not messing with that. I'm not going to be bothered with that. And I'm not bitter. I'm just going to contribute to my Roth IRA. How come y'all don't go to singles events? Just had a woman, I think the last clip, say, it was what I expected. majority women out there. Well, why do you think? Because a lot of these modern women think that things should be done on their time. And a man is not going to... This is how it's going to start. I'm trying to tell you right now. This is how it's going to be in life. A man's going to be running. He's going to look over and say, oh, she's cute. He's going to take an opportunity. That's how men are. I'm going to see that. I love it. Why don't me and you get together so I can get to know you? And you say no, he's going to keep on running. What y'all want men to do is run. And instead of continuing to run toward his goal, you say, hey, stop over here real quick. There's something that you might want to see. And a man can see the turn coming up and he sees there's a traffic jam. He's like, no, I don't want to go that way. And he keeps going. Think of singles events as traffic jams. I'm headed toward my purpose, smooth sailing. This brother says dating is a low priority. Traffic jams for a lot of people are a low priority. He says, I'm working overtime. That's probably to get money. Most men's priority is probably to get a little money. Okay. And he says, I'm in graduate school. He's trying to make something better of himself. So he's trying to get more money. He's working overtime. He just told you he's trying to get money. He's working overtime. Now he's going to graduate school so he can get more money. So that's the second time he told you he's trying to get money. And contributing to my Roth IRA. That's the third time he told you he's trying to increase his money. 3 times he told you, same sentence, 3 different ways. I'm trying to create money for myself. I'm trying to get more of it. And I'm trying to do something productive with my life. Smooth sailing. If I see a woman that's going to waste my time, my energy, my money, you just created for me a traffic jam. If I got to go out and spend $75, I think somebody actually said you should be willing to, and I'm not joking. I think she was a singles event mixer or whatever that is. However you say it, organized. She was an organizer of these singles events. And she said, women will gladly pay somewhere around 60 to, I think she said 200 or something like that, dollars to come to this event. And men won't pay anything. They're not even coming because it's a traffic jam. I'm not going to take money out of my retirement to spend getting laughed at. Just not going to do it. And taking on a bill, taking on a headache, I'm not going to do it. Y'all not hearing men. Y'all really aren't.
I know somebody's already said this, but I'm going to say it again. Stop going to these dating singles mixers and blind dating, speed dating. Stop going to all these events, okay? Because you look desperate. And I'm not saying that to like hurt somebody's feelings or talk down or like shame anybody or anything like that, but this is what you look like to the outside world. This is what you give, right? And not only to the outside world, but that's what you give to the man that you're looking for. Because see, the type of man that you're looking for is somebody that's charismatic, somebody that is charming, somebody that is attractive. It doesn't have to be a 10, right? But he needs to be attractive to you. Somebody that has a good career, that's family oriented, that is emotionally intelligent, emotionally and financially stable, all these things. This is what you're looking for. But all the other women, all the rest of us are looking for that same man, right? So he doesn't have any problems getting women. So he's not going to go to a singles event, to a singles mixer, to try to find another woman to add to the list of women that he already has to pay for. Because you got to think about it. We're not dating Dusties. We're not going to be with a Dusty or a man that, doesn't want to provide for us. So that man is a provider and he has to siphon through all the options that he already has. He's not going to go out and actively seek, more options at a dating event, especially not there, because desperation is not attractive. It's not sexy. No one wants the desperate, lonely girl. And I know that that's not the case. You know that that's not the case, but that's what it looks like. That's what it gives. So stop going to these events. As a matter of fact, you'll probably be better off getting on a dating app. Dating apps have had more successful marriages and more successful relationships than speed dating and, whatever else blind dating event. They've had more success. Now, dating apps are trash. Don't get me wrong. I don't recommend dating apps. But if that's something, the alternative to going to these events would be to get on a dating app. Now, what I recommend is to get out there in the field. Get up, get out, and get in the field. Get in the field like our grannies and our mammies used to. Our grannies and our mammies, they was outside and they met their men outside. I'm not saying get up and go to the club or the bar. When I say outside, I mean literally outside of your house. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go to these specifically, to these events that are specifically curated for singles, because it's not going to be like girlfriends. It's not going to be like Sex and the City. It's not going to be like Love Island. You're not going to find this Prince Charming man at these events. And don't look at the small demographic of people that have been successful at these events, because like I said, it is a small demographic and you may not be the exception. So you would just be wasting your time going to these events. There are, you know, way more, I would say maybe about 95% of these events are women. And these women range from tall, short, you know, long hair, short hair, black, white, whatever. Like, there are so many different options of women. And so if you look at it from a number standpoint, it wouldn't be smart to go there. It wouldn't be smart to go there, because the 2% of men or 5%, whatever, that are going to be there are going to have all these gorgeous women to choose from. And you may or may not get picked. And so I feel like you would just be better off getting outside and getting in the field. Lace up your shoes and get outside. That's, to me, that is the best way to attract what it is that you're looking for, is to go outside and find it. You know, go to the gym. You won't just get healthy. You won't just get in shape. You might find a man there. Go to the grocery store. You won't just get groceries. You won't just get food to eat. You might find a man there. Go to church. You won't just get closer to the Lord. You might just find a man there. But do not go to these specifically curated events, because honestly, in my opinion, I think that these people that curate these events, they know that it's a lot of women that desire companionship. And so they cater to those women. You know, it's set up for those women. And like I said, these men are not going out here looking for another woman to pay for. Never in the history of ever has a man woken up and said to himself, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to go find me a wife so I can start a family. Never. They go out here, they go outside and they look for vagina. Right? And if that vagina turns into some long-term stuff and, you know, they have it to hold forever and ever, great. But they're not looking for that the way that men are not looking for wives in the way that women are looking for husbands. So stop going to these events, because these people are just literally taking your money. They're taking your money because they know that you want companionship. They can feel the desperation. They see the desperation, and they're looking at you as if you're desperate. And they're like, how can I benefit and get money out of these women who long for long-term relationships and commitment? How can I get their money? You know, so stop giving them their money and get up and get outside and get in the field.
So I went to this singles mixer, and I only went because this guy that actually ended up swiping on me on a dating app, I did not swipe back because I did not find him attractive. He invited me to this singles mixer, and I was like, F it, because it's going to be at one of my favorite bars, and I'll have my bartender friends to keep me company. So I went, and it was not it. Like, none of the guys were attractive at all. And it was just uncomfortable as hell. So I like went to the bar top and sat there, and this random guy came up to me and he was like, hey, you kind of look like you don't want to talk to anybody. So why the fuck would you come up to me if I look like I don't want to talk to anybody? I was like, I'm so glad I'm giving off that vibe. And he was like, well, do you mind if we have a conversation? I'm like, bruh, did you just hear what you said and just heard what I said? But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's like, sure, let's have a conversation. So he's asking me questions. I ask him a couple back. He keeps asking me more questions. And there's like a silent pause. And he's like, oh, I'm waiting for you to ask me questions. I was like, in my head, I'm like, I really don't want to talk to you anyways. Like, you missed the mark when I said I'm glad I give off that vibe. So then he was like, so how do you feel about musicals? I was like, I don't really like them. But it's funny because Grease and Carmen are like one of my favorite movies. And then he just went on and on and on and on about musicals. And I'm like, you do remember that I said I don't really like musicals, so why do you keep asking me questions about musicals? And then I was like, oh, so you like musicals? And he was like, yeah, and then just kept going on and on about musicals. And then I was just like, okay, we're not going anywhere. So I just was basically giving him the silent treatment, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna go use the restroom. And I was like, okay. And then somebody took his seat. And I was about to leave after that, and then I feel this tap on my back, and I turn around, and then some other random crusty man is like, hey, do you mind if we have a conversation? And I peeped that he was staring at me when I was like sitting at a table by myself, And I was just like, I hope this man's not come and talk to me. And of course, by the time I close out my tab, he tries to talk to me. But I was like, no, I'm about to leave. Y'all, I hate being single. Someone take me out the game.
It's almost like some of these ladies are not hearing or seeing themselves. You talk about not being attracted to the men that were there. You weren't even attracted to the guy that invited you out. You go there and you bring this negative energy, which is, what a lot of men see. And, I'm glad the woman in the last clip said that. He said, well, the men that we want, we don't date no dusties. Well, y'all don't date anybody because the guys that y'all deal with, they're not going to hear this type of negativity. So y'all are not dating anybody, actually. The men in y'all's mind that y'all date they're not dusties, but y'all are not actually getting men with this type of attitude, right? Maybe you see somebody for a few weeks and y'all let them go or whatever and whatnot, but you guys are not really doing anything out here that makes any sense. Especially, what man is going to want to be around this type of, just a negative attitude. I was actually on the phone with my brother. I was listening to him talk about something. This guy was a millionaire. And he said, man, a couple of things that I hate. He named one. And then the other one was like, I hate being around negative people. What do you think that these singles mixers are? A bunch of women talking about how the men, you, for example, are not good looking. And then looking certain ways. I don't know how y'all think y'all are going to get away with this type of stuff.
Everyone has an opinion. Here's mine. By now, I am certain you've heard about the viral video where a woman talks about an epic fail at a Dallas singles event. Her complaint was that no men were there per usual. My opinion on the situation is this. Ladies, didn't you guys ask us to stop harassing you? Didn't you ask us to not talk to you, to not bother you? Remember, masculinity is toxic. Remember, the future is feminine, or female, excuse me, right? Girl power and girl math and girl bossing and all of the other shit that you guys talked about, right? Why in the world are you throwing singles mixers? Why in the world are you throwing singles mixers where you hoping that men will show up? I don't understand that. The logic isn't computing. And then for those of you say, well, us telling you guys to leave us alone is just a cheap cop out for you guys actually leaving us alone. And I'm like, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. Most men understand the truth. And the truth is that women have been exposed. We know the game now. Most of us are aware of how women truly operate. There are only a very limited amount of women who are actually selfless, who are actually quality, who are actually wifey material. This is why the Bible tells you in Proverbs 31 that to find a wife is a good thing, suggesting that she was already a wife when you found her. The problem is most of these women, especially the women showing up at singles events, are not wifey material. Now, they may claim to be wifey material. Oh, I cook, I clean, I got my own place, I got my own car. But sis, at the big age that you are at right now, how did you make it this far in life without somebody wifing you up? If you were really as quality as you say that you are, if you're really as the package that you're offering, if you're really that, then why are you still by yourself? Why are you even showing up at singles mixers? Don't you understand that's low-hanging fruit? Quality men don't show up to singles mixers. One, because think about as a man how low on the totem pole you'd have to be and how desperate you'd have to be to show up at a singles event. Or the only other reason why a man with half of a backbone and some self-dignity and respect would show up to a singles mixer is so that he can prey on the desperation of all of the desperate women that are there in attendance. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you're at a singles mixer, it reeks of desperation. It is what it is. Because people who can get people, and when I mean people who can get people, I mean men or women who can garner the attention of the opposite sex, have no need to show up at singles mixers or singles events. We actually just know how to be dope in real life, how to be a vibe in real life. And unfortunately, most women just aren't great people. They're not great people to hang around. They're not great people to talk to. They're not great people to have in your circle. In fact, most of them present themselves as liabilities, headaches, and bills. And fellas, if you know like I know, why the fuck would you intentionally set yourself up for that? And that's not even coupling the children the women that have children. And then you want to go and sign yourself up for a headache and a bill plus a kid that you didn't make? Nothing about that makes sense. Nothing. Now, this isn't to be disrespectful to the women out there. Sis, you go do you. I wish y'all all well. I hope you are all successful. I hope you get that bag. I hope you got all the money in the world. I hope that money keeps you warm at night. But sis, you created this shit. Now, you made the bed, lay in it. That's just my opinion, though. Love to know yours. Drop a like, comment, share this video. Is the singles events thing a thing of the past, or should men come out the house and try to give women a chance despite everything that has been done? Smash that follow button.
I've cut out men and I've cut out dating and I've never been more peaceful. Well, that is great for you. So what I want to know is, who was the first person to tell all the girlies that going on online dating sites is the equivalent of like putting themselves onto a cheap buffet? Or furthermore, who was the first person to tell all the girlies that if they go to a singles event to meet other singles, that they're essentially putting themselves on clearance? Whoever those people were, I want you to step to the front because I want to have a little talk with you. No, really, I don't want to have a talk with you because obviously I know, whatever, we all have opinions and thoughts on everything going on with modern dating and modern romance and modern love and blah, blah, blah. And we all know that no one is really approaching people regularly out in the wild without there being any type of parameters around it, right? So like, 9 times out of 10, if someone's in the grocery store, they're not walking up to somebody else in the grocery store because they don't know what they're there for. I mean, they're there for groceries, but they don't know if they are single and interested in being approached. And with everybody saying that people are like harassing them and, you know, intimidating them and all the things, I mean, it's no wonder that some men might be just a little shy of approaching you outside of an element where approaching is definitely invited and warranted, right? So with all of that being said, where should a single woman go who doesn't want to be single, who doesn't desire to be single? Where should she go to have some good chances of meeting some quality matches? After coming across the conversation that my girl Jen, I think her name was Jen, was having with many people about what happened to her at the Crush Club, I think it was called, in Houston recently, I saw so many people in the comments telling people, well, of course, like, what did you expect? You can't go to the Crush Club. You can't go to a singles event. You can't go on online dating. And then there was other people like, yeah, cut out men and I've cut out dating and I've never been more peaceful. Well, that is great for you. If you are at peace living life as a single person, that is wonderful. No one is faulting you of that. But why are you then even in the conversation of the people who intentionally want to meet partners? Why are you even in that conversation? Because truly you're not being helpful. And if people are going to leave you alone and let you be at peace with your decision to be peacefully single, then why not let the people who still are desiring a partner be peaceful with their decision and support them in their journey to find it? Because honestly, with a little discernment, a little strategy, a little positivity, and a lot of common sense, you can make use of all of these tools and give yourself the best chance possible to meeting the partner you so desire.
Did you know there's an ongoing boycott of Black women? Yeah, silently, there's a boycott of Black women going on in the dating world. And we were not informed. There was no announcement made, but it's been happening for a hot minute now. What happened was, I was going through TikTok and I saw a video that had like clips of different Black women from 3 different countries, the US, UK, and Canada. These women said they're exhausted, they are going to mixers and Black men are not showing up. In a room of 100 women, for example, 3 men show up. And when 3 men show up, they do not want to talk to Black women. They want to go mingle with non-Black women. Now, Black women are saying they're exhausted, they don't want to go anymore, they don't want to bother anymore. And they don't seem to know what the problem is. So I was like, nah, there has to be a disconnect. Tell me why. I went on the comment section. That's why I found out about the boycott. Apparently, Black men are sick and tired of how we treat them. I'm going to add some of the comments. This is one of them, right? And it's like men across the board just decided they are over Black women. I don't blame them, because In recent time, the way we are so quick to pick up our phones and bash the black man for his 9-to-5 job, he's not man enough, the way we represent black men is as if there's no good one amongst all of them. And the few times that black men do talk to black women, the first thing they're asking is, do you have a car? Do you have, what kind of job do you have? How much are you getting paid? Do you have a house? It's like, we don't even see them as humans anymore. We just see them as something to check off our list. These men are tired of it. No one said not to have a good standard, but that unrealistic standard of you have to be all these things in one person, which is why they started asking, what are we bringing to this table? What is it that we have to offer if they have to come up with this much? The craziest thing is that in the dating world, a lot of women, this amount of women are single, right? Looking for love, looking to have their own, looking to be in a relationship with a particular man that has all these things, right? But the supply of the men these women are looking for is this little. Here's the reason why. Some of them are already married. They married their high school sweethearts. They married their best friend. They married what? They're married. Some of them were married but divorced. They don't want anything to do with marriage anymore. Some of them are not interested in women. Like, nada. Some of them already have kids, meaning that marriage and a woman is not priority on their list. It's not top priority. They want to be successful and take care of their kids. Now, the men that have been heartbroken, healed, good men, they just want to have a family. The one that is left, that have good jobs, all these things on our checklist is this little. So how will this much show up to meet this little? And now this little are saying, you guys are too much. You're giving off toxic energy. We did this to ourselves. The funny thing is, beneath all this strong feminism energy that we are given, we are the sweetest people, the kindest women. We are truly strong. We can be supportive if we want. But we have this heavy mask of, I've been hurt before. I don't want my past experience to happen again. Hence, we are bleeding on the people that did not cut us. We are trying to be defensive to people that never fought with us. Now they're like, why are you treating me badly? What did I do to you? What did I ever do to you? Nothing. We have refused to heal from the past trauma. We have refused to let it go. And we are bringing all that baggage into the new men that we meet. These men are fighting silent battles that they know nothing about. And they're like, I can't seem to get across to this woman. It's because we are not in the same headspace. Black love is the most beautiful and the strongest love I have seen in all of my existence. Not just to hype the race. It's just, there's something special about black love. What I don't understand is when a lot of factors in this environment is against us. We are in the middle of the battlefield, right? Instead of fighting other people that don't like black people, that don't like anything that we stand for, we are now fighting each other. Why are we attacking each other? Why are we pulling each other down? We have dramatic baby mamas, we have toxic baby daddies. How did we get here? I saw some comments, right? It was embarrassing because now they're saying, I thought you guys were the prize. How is 300 women showing up to meet men? Aren't you the prize? Ain't you the independent, strong black women? What do you want from us? That was embarrassing when I read that comment because I'm thinking, yeah, that's actually true. Now the few men that are available don't want nothing to do with black women. The feeling of not being wanted makes us even more angry. Make your standard realistic, okay? Mark down what is important. If what is important to you is peace, find peace. Everything else will come along. If what is important to you is money, look for it, people that only want you for what you look like. But you want money, you want peace, you want loyalty, you want all these things. And when they ask you, what do you have to offer me? You're saying, I'm bringing myself. What are you? Define yourself. Explain who you are. Then we become speechless. And then we say, oh, some men are egocentric. Why won't they be egocentric? They've checked off all these things that makes them top tier. And when they say introduce yourself, we're not saying anything that is giving top tier. It's just like interviewing for a position you're not qualified for. Then you're angry you're not picked. If you see a man that has goals and aspiration, support him. Because the truth is, it is in very rare cases, a woman will build a man and then he will marry someone else. It's in very, very rare cases. Not that it doesn't happen. It's very rare. Look at Kit Lee. That guy, we know he's going to ride with his wife because he keeps talking about when he had nothing, she was there. So these men are loyal to people that knew them when they were nothing. These are the factors that make the pool very, very small. Think about it. If you knew me when I was nothing, would I not want to stay with you? If you ignored me when I was low, don't talk to me now that I'm high. I'm just a messenger.
So maybe you're new to this, and maybe the clip that came up before you can shed a little light on why men aren't interested, why men are not going to singles events or dating mixers. Well, the church put on a singles mixer, not going. Well, the church put this on, or my work did this, or a matchmaker did that, I'm not going. Men don't want to be bothered with it. Somebody in the comments here said, they're not looking for love. They're looking for someone to maintain their lifestyle. They say it all the time. If you cannot afford me or offer me the lifestyle of illusion I have created for myself, then bye. You know? And to be fair, she was saying in the comments, don't come for me. I'm just the messenger. I'm just saying. So, that's kind of what men are going through right now.
It appears that I made a couple of men upset in my last video. I see a lot of defensiveness in the comments, but I am not here to clarify anything up for the men because I feel like men know exactly what I'm talking about. That is why they're getting defensive, but I'm here to clarify a couple of things for the women, because a lot of women are like, no, what do you mean when a man acts nonchalant? He's trying to mimic femininity because women are not nonchalant. And yes, that is correct. I'm shedding light on the fact that women have a natural pull. No matter what a woman is doing, she can go out and attract men. She does not have to work or really perform to attract men. Women have this natural, undeniable effect on men to be able to attract them. And a lot of men know this to the point where they're actually kind of scared by the effect that women have on men. They're scared of losing that control for themselves because the effect that women have on men is literally insane. I will always believe that women need men and men need women, but I will also always believe that men need women a little bit more. And before any man comes in my comments and like, oh, I never needed a woman, I'm so strong, I'm so tough, I don't ever need no woman, I don't ever need no woman. Remember what you came from. Nonchalance mimics femininity because women have a natural ability to attract men. Men try to do this very effect, but they call it nonchalant. And so they will go out and be nonchalant, but frame it as emotional control when it's really emotional avoidance. It's literally emotional avoidance. It's emotional detachment. It's a way that men can feel like they have control over their emotions, but they're really trying to protect their ego because they fear getting hurt by the woman they actually like. And yes, sometimes they don't actually like that woman, but they're still using that woman for a reason, for validation, for attention, etc. They're still weaponizing that very act. This is why when a man is genuinely interested in a woman, that pursuit, that type of presence, when he shows that he cares, that's why it's so sexy. That's why it's so hot, because it's authentic masculinity. All that other nonchalance behavior is just men trying to mimic femininity, our ability to attract. Most men, I feel, are nonchalant because they have been hurt by women that know the effect that they have on men. A lot of women do weaponize their pull. They weaponize the power that they have and the effect that they have on men. Not all women, but a lot of women do. And so they hurt men that are sometimes genuinely interested, and then men turn into this nonchalant type of person. It's just a reoccurring cycle of people hurting each other.
You know, once again, y'all are wondering why men are not showing up at these singles events. It's because we're scared that this might be there. We are afraid that this type of logic and mindset is going to be there. Well, y'all need us a little bit more than we did you. No, we don't. No, we don't. And you know that. That's the bad thing about it. You sit in your car and you probably thought about this on your way home, and you just had to stop and you just had to talk about it. And so you stopped and this is what you came up with. Men don't want to hear this all day. They don't want to even get close to hearing this type of foolishness. But here you are spreading it online. Why don't men come up to us? Why don't men approach? Because you're probably going to say something silly.
So I am on Bumble, and I'm actively using it and talking to these people, but I keep accidentally playing devil's advocate. Not even intentionally, it's truly an accident. I'm just a girl's girl. So anyway, I'm talking to this guy and he's telling me he's divorced, and I said, oh, like what happened? He said she cheated. I said, oh, that sucks. How'd that happen? Or how did you find out? He found out through Facebook. I guess it was like a 5-year affair. He said he came out of nowhere. He had no idea. I'm like, okay. And they said there was no like indication, like you didn't realize anything. And he's like, no, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, how'd you find out? Or like, what did she say happened? Because at this point, I'm just curious. And he said this guy that knew his wife from high school, I messaged her on Facebook and was telling her, his words were telling her something like basically saying she was really pretty and like giving her all these compliments and stuff. So as he's saying this, what I'm hearing is that you neglected your wife emotionally. She has all these children with you. Somehow you did not know your wife was completely unhappy and neglected. And you're saying it came out of nowhere. But yet if it came out of nowhere, then this woman would not have been fazed by another man calling her beautiful and telling her all these nice compliments, because if you were complimenting your wife, she would be desensitized to, or she wouldn't even want another man to be giving her the attention. Do you know what I mean? So that's my side of it. And I basically said something along those lines, and he was like, are you justifying her cheating? And I was like, no, I'm just trying to understand the psychology behind it. And like, it was an accident. Like, I'm not condoning your wife cheating on you, bro. But I caught myself and I was like, oh my God. Kind of laughed. But seriously, it's always these guys and they're like, oh, I'm divorced. And I'm like, oh, what happened? Oh, it just came out of nowhere. Man, how it doesn't just come out of nowhere. There's tons of things, but it's the mindset. They don't realize it until it's too late. And then when it's too late, it's like, it's done. And then after they're done, they're like, holy shit, like I could have changed so much in the past. Like I should have done so much. And then they get remarried, and then, wife number 2 benefits from wife number 1's struggles. But I laughed.
I think it's funny that women are, in the comments agreeing with this type of stuff. They're letting it go, right? They're saying, oh yeah, it should be okay for her to do this type of stuff because, he gave her a reason, even though he didn't think that he did. That's funny because whenever a man says, well, it's been literal years, literal decades, and she has not touched me, I have not been able to touch her, but she expects me to stay here and I have not talked to anybody else. Oh, well, you need to do this for her, you need to do that for her, she probably because of this. Interesting. I love that. So when a man gets neglected, it's his fault, and when a woman gets neglected, it's also the man's fault. When a man cheats, it's his fault. When a woman cheats, it's the man's fault. I love that. I like that. So no matter what the scenario, I think what you're trying to tell us is it's always going to be the man that's the problem. I'm thinking about it, and I really like it. It's stupid, but I feel like I like the boldness, the courage, the bravado to come out and say something like that. For women in the comments to unashamedly support this type of nonsense. I love it. It's fantastic.